Well, welcome back, basketball fans all over the world, wherever you may be. We are back here. This is the BCL Trash Talk podcast, and I'm here with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, Igor Curkovic. Igor, what's up, brother?
I'm so happy every time you kind of butcher my last name, but this one was really good. This one was nice. You're improving. By the end of the season, you're going to get it like you're a full 100% Croat. Speaking of our fellow Croats, we've had the MVP of November award, and we've given it out to none other than Ivan Buva, a man that you suggested in the podcast not that long ago, and I was like, what? But it turns out you're right, and that's really a tough thing for me to say, but you were right. Buva was amazing against Besiktas in a couple of games, and he picks up the MVP award. He's going to have it before one of the next upcoming Ritas home games. So that's going to be a nice little ceremony. We gave out the MVP award of October to John Radebo, and he did a nice photo session with the award, expecting the same from Buba. And in other news, we also had the team of the month, a kind of bizarre team of the month because it was an old European team of the month of November with Dario Brizuela of Unicaja, Ivan Strebkov of Nizhny Novgorod, and then Buva, of course, of Ritas Vilnius, Andrija Stipanovic of Cluj-Napoca, and Ismail Bakov, Paxi Manresa. So a really tall lineup, but you have to agree with them when you see the numbers.
Man, it feels like such a long time since we've talked about any basketball Champions League. But one of the reasons for that is that it was the 2023 FIBA Basketball World Cup qualifiers. And look, I want your opinion right now, but I'm going to go with mine first. We had some BCL family members playing in the qualifiers. So I'm going to give you my five, then you're going to give me my five. Your five, sorry, excuse me.
Okay, I'm going to give you, sure, man.
I mean, you seem to be giving me the business every week when we go into our head-to-heads, but I'm going to lay my five on you. First of all, I'm going to go to the Americas. I'm going with none other than Bruno Fittipaldo. I mean, look, we've seen this guy season after season in the Basketball Champions League, and he's doing the exact same thing with the Uruguay national team. He's pulling up from the mid-range. He's pulling up from the perimeter. It's not just catch and shoot. It's off the dribble. Bruno Fittipaldo really is a sharp shooter, and he's very consistent. And we head back over to Europe. You got to go with the guy, Ostapkovic. I mean, this guy is as tough as they get. Playing for Russia, playing tough, playing physical, but getting the job done. Now let's go over to sunny Spain. I mean, how could you not ignore the performance of Yankuba Sima? This guy, 6'11", 211 centimeters, playing for Baxi Manresa, averaging 12 points per game in those first two games of Spain. It's unbelievable. Now, we talked a lot about...
Also, his first two games for Spain ever, so that's one hell of a debut.
Well, I mean, look, and it's not just him, of course. It's also his teammate, Ismail Bako. I mean, we know about the history of Belgian basketball, but Ismail Bako, for me, he does it in the Champions League. Now he's doing it at the world stage, at the World Cup qualifiers. The final position. I'm not patriotic about a lot of things, but I'm patriotic about British basketball for obvious reasons. Gabe Olaseni, in my opinion, as they would say in Spain, en mi opinión, is arguably a top 10 center in Europe right now. That's a big statement, but it's a biased statement. But I got to be proud of my British basketball players, man. I am so proud of the way they beat Greece. The first time they beat Greece in 40 years. I mean, this is big. This is big, Igor.
I mean, I don't necessarily agree with you, but since you got the Buva thing right, I have to keep quiet for the next month or so until somebody else wins the MVP award. Hopefully not Gabe Olaseni, because I'm not going to get rid of you if it happens. I see your five. I'm going to give you my five of the qualifiers. Let me know if you see a pattern in here. I agree on the Fittipaldo part. Bruno Fittipaldo had 31 points in 31 minutes in the first game against Colombia. Really, really good game for them. And he led Uruguay to a 2-0 record. Then I'm going to go with my shooting guard, Sasu Salin, because in Finland, he wasn't shooting all that well. But when it was the most important shot to take against my Croatia, he knocked down a massive three-pointer in the last minute to win the game for Finland and avoid the 0-2 hole. Then I'm going to go with the three bigs lineup. One of the biggest surprises of European qualifiers is Bosnia and Herzegovina. They're at 2-0, and they're doing it because they have a guy called Emir Sulejmanovic who was just amazing. He had a couple of double-digit games. He led them to wins against Czech Republic and Bulgarians, so he fits into my five. I'm going to head back to Americas because I love big guys who can shoot, and Kyle Wiltshire probably is the best big guy who can shoot. So he was 9 of 15 from three-point range in 2 games for Canada, also leading them to 2-0. And my big guy is Georgi Shermadini, who played a couple of great games for Georgia. So I'm not biased. It just happens that they all play for the same club in the BCL.
All right, look, one of those players, I've got to talk about a special moment. Emir Sulejmanovic. Lenovo Tenerife versus Igor Kea last season. Sulejmanovic is on the fast break. He's running so fast. He's lost control that his mouthpiece falls out.
Yep.
And he's able to catch it while going out of bounds. Now, I don't want to take that away from his basketball skills, but that was just come on, man. That's like one of the top moments in European and international basketball. I mean, for a player to lose his mouth guard and to catch it mid-air, Sulejmanovic. But look, that's a great start at 5. The main event, okay? I'm going to go meet with Gabe Olaseni.
Yeah, of course you will.
Look, Igor, you got to understand, British basketball, the GB national team took a turn for the best after the 2019 FIBA World Cup. They went to the Eurobasket qualifiers. They lost their opening game against Montenegro, but then they won the next game against Germany, and then the head-to-head against Montenegro in the next window. All I'm saying is this guy is an MVP based on his intangibles. He plays best with great players, whether it's Ovi Soko, Miles Hessen, Dan Clark. That's why I'm saying, to me, not only is he a top center, he's arguably a top role player, if that makes sense. That's just my opinion. I don't think you should argue with that.
He was leading the efficiency stat in the whole FIBA Eurobasket 2017, so I'm going to give you that. Let's just go to the main event because Gabe Olaseni really deserves to be here.
Okay, now welcome here to the BCL Trash Talk podcast main event, and I'm with Great Britain and South Africa basketball superstar Gabe Olaseni. Gabe, thank you for joining us. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Good stuff. I guess the first topic we got to break off with is the FIBA World Cup qualifiers. Look, you guys opened the 2019 FIBA World Cup qualifiers against Greece. Same opening game, good win. Now, what was that experience like for you guys to pick up that victory?
It was a lot of fun. Honestly, when you play a window, you only have, I'll say, like 2 or 3 days to really put in all your schemes, offense, defense. So to come together in such a short period of time and execute the way we did, I think we came back from 15 and ended up winning by almost double digits. So overall, it was just a great win for us.
You compare like the first time you guys went in 2019 FIBA World Cup qualifiers, then to the Eurobasket qualifiers. It was almost like an evolution of GB basketball. Let's talk about that progression you guys have made. What has made you guys a better team to compete now here at the international stage?
I think just the consistency. We bring back a lot of the same guys so that continuity is there, There's not really that real adjustment of knowing how guys like to play and knowing where guys are going to be on the floor. We really have that like the unspoken bond now between guys. And I think for the most part, everyone's progressed individually to better teams. So they've gained that international experience, they've gained that domestic experience. And when we come together, it's just more of a well-oiled machine.
Well, as you mentioned, that international experience has been boosted by so many players playing abroad. Now, let's go to the continental stage here in Europe. We'll move on now to the Basketball Champions League. Now, let's talk about this season with you and Dara Shafika. How is the season going for you as a player? And what do you need to do to help your team improve this season?
I think for the most part, it's going well. Domestically, we're doing very well in the Turkish league. Obviously, in the Champions League, we're not in the position we want to be right now, but I think looking at the schedule going forward, and I think we have our future in our own hands. So if we win, I think we'll be in a good position to finish the group strong, and hopefully some of the other games can go our way too, so we can finish near the top of the group and obviously move on to the next stage. Individually right now, I think I'm really gaining my rhythm. For the most part, whenever I go off to my national team, I don't know if whether it's being around the lads for a few days, I always come back stronger. So Right now, I'm trying to hit the ground running during this like second part of the season before the next break. So, yeah, I'm just trying to do what the team needs me to do, finish in the paint, rebounds, and obviously play good defense. So, I think we're all coming together for sure.
Now, before we talk a bit more about Darius Shaffer, I got to talk about one of my favorite Gabe Olaseni moments in the Eurobasket qualifiers. It was against Montenegro, the second game. You know, you were a force to be reckoned with right in the early stages. They couldn't handle you in the low block, both offensively and defensively. But I remember you coming up with a defensive rebound and you going right down the middle with the ball. Exactly. And I was deciding in the commentary at that moment, you know, is this a magic Olaseni moment? I mean, this was a bit of showtime. I mean, you were taking it all the way, and you didn't even give the ball up. You had Tariq Phillip to your right. I think you had Teddy to your left, but you went in with a Euro step and a finger roll. I mean, can we see more of that from your game, being the five that turns into that point guard?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether I'll be consistently taking it coast to coast, but that's just what happens. I think we play with confidence. You know, when everything's going well. That game we really put things together. I think for the most part, when I have those good offensive outings, like against Germany, against Montenegro, it's just a showcase of how we're moving the ball, the way the ball's moving, the guys are looking for me, and to just get the opportunity, I went for it. It was definitely a team pleasing moment. We still talk about that now. So yeah, I'm just happy to make that play, and hopefully, not necessarily coast to coast, but hopefully I can make a lot more plays for Great Britain going down the stretch.
That's magic Olaseni. I'm gonna remember that one. All right, let's go on to the Basketball Champions League, okay? Because look, 3 games to go in the group for Darius Shaffer. You know, it's a pretty open group. How do you guys feel about your chances about possibly breaking into that top 2, maybe that 3rd place in the Basketball Champions League?
We feel good. Obviously, the worst thing you want to do is look back in the past and regret what you've done. But I think for the most part, like I said, it's in our hands. We have 2 out of the 3 home games. Definitely all winnable games against very good teams. But I think if we play our best, the coaching staff always do a great job of getting us up to date on offensive and defensive schemes. So I think we just bring our A game. Definitely defensively, we can hopefully win out in the group. And then obviously it depends on how other things go with the other teams. But I think for the most part, it's still in our hands of how we finish in the group. So that's a good feeling to go with 3 games left.
And obviously, you know, the next game, you're up against a very tough opponent. You know, a team that's really started to build their identity since last season, Hapoel Holon. What do you know what do you feel that you have to do against Hapoel Holon to come up with a big victory?
I think just definitely bringing on the defensive end. They're very athletic bigs from what I've seen, versatile 4-men, leaders at the guard position. So it's going to be a challenge, but like I said, I think our coaching staff do a great job of analyzing video, getting us prepared. We watch a lot of film. And I think for the most part, all of the guys on the team are slowly coming together. We're getting that chemistry. We practice hard. We practice very specific things. So I think, yeah, we'll just treat this game like a big one. And hopefully we'll come out and bring our A game and continue on in the Champions League.
Who's the one teammate on your team that you feel like the game is on the line, there's little time left? Who are you putting the ball in the hands of your team to win you the game?
Oh, that's a tough question. To be honest, I would say one of 3 people. I'll say Sinan. He's been around the block as well, similar to Guy Panini. He's a big crunch time player. I'll say Troy Copain. He can always get to the rim. And I'll say Wayne McCullough, versatile wing, can always get a shot off against even bigger defenders. So I think those 3, plus Doj Ozdemirioglu, he's a big time player as well. So I say one of those guys. They're just versatile, can get to the rim, and can make plays for others. You know, down the stretch, I think guys always want to be the guy to put the ball in the hoop, but these guys, they're versatile enough to draw to kick to the open guy. So yeah, but for the most part, I've trusted all my teammates.
Brilliant. I'm going to add one last question. Sorry, I'm going to ask the same question. Look, It's international call-up, right? You guys are down by 1, Great Britain. You've got Luke Nelson. You've got Teddy Okorefor, Tariq Phillip. Heck, you've even got Miles Hessen, Obi Soko. Yourself. Who for Great Britain is getting the last shot? You're down by 1. It's not going to overtime. You're down by 1. Who from GB do you think Mark Studel has drawn that play up to say, or even yourself, who is getting the last shot to win the game for Great Britain? Now, first of all, we know we know who got the game win against Germany, but that doesn't have to be your automatic pick, though. Of course, that was I've called him the British Iceman because he always goes in with that beautiful Fangaro, of course. But who's getting the last shot for GB?
I would have to go with Luke Nelson. He's a guy who plays with so much confidence. He doesn't care if he's missed a few shots in a row. He's always willing to take that big shot. And I think secondly, I'll probably have to say DC. DC, he's always got a Dan Clark. Obviously, he's always got
the British Dirk Nowitzki.
Dan Clark, the British Dirk Nowitzki. He's always got 1 or 2 shots every game in his bag. Where you're just like, I don't know how he made it, but thank God he did. I think even in the Greece game and obviously against Turkey, he had a big offensive output. But just the size and the skill, he's definitely going to get a shot off, which is the main thing. And more times than not, it's going to go in. So I'll definitely say Luke Nelson and Dan Clark.
Well, Great Britain, Darius Shafir, Gabe Olaseni, thank you so much for coming on the BCL Trash Talk podcast. We wish you all the best, my brother.
Thanks for having me. I had a lot of fun.
Well, moving on now, we are here in the film room, and I'm with my good friend, Diccon Lloyd-Smeath. Coach Diccon, how are you doing, brother?
Very, very good, Josh. Great to see you. How's things?
Well, we have just had a phenomenal 2023 FIBA Basketball World Cup qualification window in which we just met with Gabe Olaseni. I mean, his game has come a long way, hasn't it?
Certainly has. And it was a classic FIBA window. Upsets, different players stepping up where you're not expecting it. It's always the unexpected in the windows. And with Team GB, that's exactly what happened. Most people probably saw Greece and Turkey and expected 2 losses for GB, but not them. Certainly not Gabe Olaseni, who came up big in both games, actually. Although they couldn't get it done against Turkey, they did get it done against Greece for the first time in over 40 years. So maybe Olaseni himself is not an up-and-coming player. You know, we can expect those kind of performances from him, but it was still very impressive to see him get it done.
The first day of the windows, I'm so excited because there's basketball all over the world. And then the very last day, it's like, it's over. But we're right back in it. We're back in the Basketball Champions League. We're going to be seeing Gabe Olaseni. But right now, this is the film room. And I think you've got something for us from Transylvania. Am I correct?
Yeah, we're going back to game day 4, Romania, Cluj-Napoca against Hapoel Holon. And we're going to talk about a play called the winner play, or most commonly known about the winner play. Brad Stevens became very popular with Brad Stevens and the Boston Celtics, and is now probably the go-to play for the majority of teams in Europe when they're down 3 or more, or down 3 late in the game and they need to get a clutch 3. And it's actually a play that goes all the way back to Brad Stevens at Butler, when he adapted a play from his head coach that was designed to get a shot at the rim, and he twisted it so that he could get a shot from 3. And now this play is something that you need to know because you're going to see it so often, over and over again. So if we hit play on the video, as we said, game day 4, Cluj-Napoca at home to Holon. The game's already in overtime. Guy Panini's just hit a dagger 3 to put Holon up 3 with 7.9 seconds left on the clock. Mihai Silverson calls timeout, and this is what he drew up. So the play starts with Stewart inbounding the ball and a Guzman down screen for Patrick Richard, which is what the play is designed to look like it's for. But then the ball goes long over the top to Guzman and eventually finds Richard in stride.
It's Richard. It's 3!
And the game's tied, and we're going to double overtime. So if we watch the play again, first thing to notice is this down screen. They're not even really interested in it. They completely slip the screen to gain some momentum for Guzman to go to the weak side. The other thing you really need to notice is the key player in this is actually Andrei Stepanovic on the weak side. And the entire play is designed really for his man to lose the ball, to watch the ball and lose track of the play so that he's free to set the screen and get Richard open. If we watch it from the other angle, you can see perfectly how open Stepanovic is to set the screen, because the ball is being watched in the air by his man. And that's the simplicity of the play, and that's why it works. And that is the Brad Stevens winner play that you see all over the NBA and all over Europe.
I love the film room. I absolutely love it because you just learn more about the X's and O's of all these teams here in the BCL. And people are retweeting, people are talking about it. Diccon, as usual, thank you very much for your hard work. But now it's game of the week. We have Pinar Kashiaka. They're going at home against Hapoel Bank Yehav Yerushalayim. I'm about to go meet Igor for the head-to-head, but Diccon, who do you think's winning this one?
I know I'm not going to be able to pronounce that name like you do, man. I know that's one thing. I don't know if this is a game that's almost impossible to call because you have two teams coming off domestic season wins. So Pinar Kashiaka just picked up a win against Galatasaray. And Jerusalem are rolling at the moment. They kind of seem to have found their feet and found their flow. Suleiman Bremo is back. It looks like an impossible task for them to make it out the regular season, but you just start to get the feeling that it's building some momentum there.
Well, Sean Kilpatrick, I mean, lots of big names in that team, of course, but Diccon, I'm going to go meet Igor now for the head-to-head. Thank you very much for the film room. This is the BCL Trash Talk Podcast. Okay, now, welcome back. It's time for the head-to-head. But Igor, I mean, I've just come out of the film room with Coach Diccon. I mean, that was quite an interesting clip. As always, a great work from Diccon on Cluj. What are your thoughts on that?
First of all, as much as I don't like Tottenham Hotspur, I gotta say Diccon is an awesome guy for being a Tottenham Hotspur fan. And the way he breaks down stuff is really, really, I mean, I enjoy it so much. And Cluj, I cannot say that I'm surprised because I've watched them grow and grow. And Andrija Stipanovic is a good friend of mine, so I followed him closely. And for him to be able to do stuff that he's doing at 35, just so happy for Cluj and for Andrija that they're up there leading the group right now, right? So let's just talk about some other teams because we've got our usual head-to-head thing.
I don't usually win this head-to-head, okay? But this is a very, very big head-to-head. I mean, this is a massive game. We're talking about Izmir, the city of Izmir. They're going to be hosting the city of, as they would say in Hebrew, Yerushalayim, or Jerusalem. We got Pinar Kashiaka.
You just love saying it.
Oh, of course I do. I mean, I love it. Yerushalayim versus Hapoel Bank Yehav Yerushalayim. All right. I know who you're going for this game. All right. It's quite obvious. You're going for the boys from Turkey. You got 30 seconds to let me know why Pinar Kashiaka are going to win the game of the week of the Basketball Champions League. Starting now.
It's easy because even though they seemed like they were on cruise control when they started at 2-0, they bounced back to 2-2. And now they got their backs against the wall, and that's where Pinar Kashiaka are playing their best basketball, when they feel like they're threatened because they cannot longer catch the first place, but now they need to solve the second place to have the home court advantage in the playing series. So this is the kind of environment that Pinar Kashiaka really love. So basically, I'm going with them.
1.
It's not going to happen, man. It's not going to happen. Jerusalem, I'm not winning this one.
I got to ask you a question. I mean, I got so much respect and so much love for the Pinar Kashiaka fans. They're phenomenal. Do you know the lyrics to their very short, infamous chant?
I don't know. I don't want to try because I'm not that good with other languages.
Oh, it's easy. It's so easy, and it's so amazing because the players, they like go... Cuff. Yep, that's it. Cuff. They go to the center of the court. They say, cuff, 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 C, cuff, C, cuff, C, cuff. It's so simple. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's so simple. All right, look. You said Pinar Kashiaka. I'm now going to go, obviously, with Hapoel Bank Yehav Yerushalayim. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Okay. Now, Hapoel Bank Yehav Yerushalayim, they are a completely different team from the last 2 seasons that we've seen them. Look, we're talking about the loss of James Feldine, to Sean Thomas, Tamir Blatt, a new coach as well. So right now, they must hit the panic button. They did win their last game. That was a big win for them. But right now, it's about redemption. They must go on the road and restore their pride. This isn't just about getting back in the top 3 of the group. This is about pride for them. A big fan base. They're going to need a very, very big performance from some of their top players. They must win this game on the road. It's about pride. Simple, nothing more, nothing less.
When you put it that way, I'm doubling the money on Karšiaka because if there's a team playing with pride, it's Karšiaka. Come on, man. Come on.
Look, Pinar Karšiaka won the first game in Jerusalem with a 3-point buzzer beater from Bonzi Colson. If that's not enough to say to the Hapoel Bank Yehushalayim players that you must win on the road, I don't know what is. It's a big club, big fan base, big expectations. A couple of seasons ago, they were favorites to get to the Final Four. This year, they're not looking like it. It's either win or go home.
Yeah, that all sounds like you're describing Karšiaka to me. Big club, big fan base, big pride. I mean, so I guess you're agreeing with me, actually. So Karšiaka...
Pinar Karšiaka are in good shape right now. Hapoel Bank Yehushalayim, they're not in the same shape. They've got to make sure that they're in the same position. They got to put themselves in that position. You know, we didn't talk about Baxi Manresa. Baxi Manresa were the team that slowly creeped their way top of this group. Yeah. I went with the Israelis. You went with the Turkish team. We forgot about the Spanish team. But right now, those 3, it's Hapoel Bank Yehushalayim that must come back. It's now or never. You go to Izmir. You either win or you go right back home.
I'm not buying it. They're playing 2 games away from home. They're playing in Turkey and they're playing in Spain. This is going to be a mountain to climb. If they do it, excellent, great job. But I'm still confident that Karšiaka are going to win the game of the week.
Well, we will find out, my friend. As always, remember, you can catch the Basketball Champions League Game of the Week this Monday. It will be played in Izmir as Pinar Karšiaka will host, one more time, Igor, Hapoel Bank Yehushalayim. Toda raba. And Laila Tov. That means good night. So,
yeah, okay.
Thanks for joining us here on the BCL Trash Talk podcast. I'm your host, Josh Bett, with the man, the myth, the legend, Igor Curkovic. For now, see you later.